Here we go. I'm taking you to Dubai for an amazing adventure. You'll see we're going to do a fantastic pitch. Right now, we're in Bangkok. Next stop, Dubai. Well, we've finally arrived in Dubai, a city of extravagance, but also a city that's very inspiring to me. It's also the headquarters in particular of one of my companies, Jarvis. Every time I'm here, it makes me feel like I want to conquer the world. That's it.
A thunderous round of applause for Mathias Valon.
Good evening, Dubai. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy today to share my story with you. I'll try to be as authentic as possible. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Mathias Valon. I'm the proud father of 3 children, Leon, Leah, and Lena, who will see this on the video. That's important. And thank you. And yes, I'm a paragliding pilot, a kite surfer. He said I was a motorcycle champion, but above all, I'm what you would call a serial entrepreneur. That means I've started 14 companies on 4 continents. So when I started these different companies, I realized that each one taught me something specific. I had one company that taught me about scalability, another that taught me how to expand into multiple countries, one that taught me everything about automation, and another that taught me all about AI. In short, I carefully took the very best aspects from all the companies I had created and then combined them to build a truly perfect company called Jarvis. I'm going to tell you about it tonight. Jarvis is the most beautiful company I've ever created in my life. And Jarvis is the result of all my professional experience. But before I tell you about Jarvis, I wanted to go back a little bit into the past, back to 2019, to explain a bit about my journey and how I arrived at Jarvis and how I came to create this company. So in 2019, to give you a bit of context, I was in Asia and I was the founder of an import-export company that was booming, which I had automated. And I was also working on a startup on the side that had been voted the best startup in Asia. That was a completely crazy experience that made me travel to many different countries. And at that moment, I was at my peak, and then I got hit hard. And I think a lot of people got hit hardly, something called COVID. When COVID hit, I had a startup that wasn't profitable because we were still in the development phase. So it wasn't making any money, and I decided to put it on hold. And I said to myself, what am I going to do during this break? I'll go back to France, since it had been 12 years that I'd been living abroad, and it had been years since I'd really seen my family. I saw them from time to time, but I wanted to reconnect with my sister. I wanted to reconnect with my parents. I wanted to reconnect with friends in France. And I thought, well, if I have to go through COVID, I might as well do it in France. So I went to France, and when I arrived, I reconnected with a network of entrepreneurs, local network too, tried to see a bit what was happening, because it had been more than 12 years since I'd left France. So things were bound to have changed. And I saw that indeed there were major difficulties because of COVID. That is, the French were having a hard time working from home. I don't know if you remember, but sometimes when you mention Google Meet to some people now, it's normal. But back then some would say, what is Google Meet? What is Zoom? And so on. So I saw that there were a lot of people having problems with working from home, outsourcing, and so on. So I started a company, an outsourcing company, which was a huge success since I went from 0 to 120 employees in less than a year. That was just completely crazy. And in that area, I created a virtual world. I created an automation platform to work on it. We built an entire system that made it possible to place talent in fully outsourced companies. And there was a portion of this talent that wasn't necessarily placed in companies. So I found myself with staff, with people I could use, who were almost free. And so I decided at the same time to keep these people busy and to create a multitude of side projects, basically small businesses And so these small businesses start to do well. I start creating blogs. I start creating a social network. I start creating a podcast. And eventually, I create a media outlet that becomes number one in its niche in France. At the same time, I started getting actively involved in various professional events where I've had the opportunity to be a startup judge, evaluating new businesses, and where I've also personally pitched my own ideas and ventures at certain prominent industry events. And so I end up with quite a few entrepreneurs coming to see me and saying, listen, Matthias, can you help me with outsourcing? Can you help me with automation? Can you help me with a lot of things? I covered quite a few topics, and I decided to create another company called My Success Consulting. And this company was created to provide ultra fast, ultra direct advice to entrepreneurs, directors, and management personnel. So I set up very simple time slots. And when I'm driving my car, I block out an hour or two, depending on where I'm going, and make myself available. And then people tell me about their problem, and the first 30 minutes are free. You tell me about your problem, and I help you in 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it becomes a paid service. But 90% of the problems, I solve them within 30 minutes. And honestly, I'm having a blast. I meet lots of entrepreneurs who tell me about their challenges. And it's true that when you're an entrepreneur, you're always caught up in the day to day, and it's hard to take a step back. And it's good to have someone who helps you gain some perspective on an issue and who finds solutions. Here, I'm having a great time. I have tons of solutions coming to mind, and little by little, I start helping our biggest companies. At one point, a big company worth several tens of millions, she mentioned it comes to see me and asks for some consulting a bit more in depth. And in the end, I do a complete audit of the company. I do mystery shopping. I interview former employees. I really go deep into the accounting, etc., thoroughly. And I give him 330 pages across 77 slides. And I tell him, here, this is your company. Here are your risk points, and here are your solutions for the future. And this is what needs to be done. Thank you. Goodbye. And on that subject, he says to me, well, listen, it's very simple. You're going to do it. And I tell him, wait, I already have a big company. I already have sales projects. I already have quite a lot going on. It's going to be tough. He makes me an offer I can't refuse. And so indeed, what happens when I take over as general manager of this company, we're talking about 200 stores all across Europe, etc. So I end up with a lot of work, as you can imagine. So from that moment on, I worked flat out and built all of this. Let me remind you, I came to France for just a few weeks to see my family. And I ended up, after almost 4 years in France, managing more than 500 employees. So at that point, things are intense. And at that moment, I say to myself, I received my tax statement. Okay, we're in Dubai today. We'll talk about that a bit. I see that there are a lot of zeros indeed, and I ask myself, is true wealth? Is true wealth the taxes I pay, the money I make, or is it time? Is it freedom? That's the question everyone asks themselves, I think. And I told myself, listen, I've done well, and now it's time to claim my freedom. It's time to find a way to stop just existing and to start living what I call my second life. So, what is the second life? That is to say, I spent my first life building companies. I built 14 of them in many different countries. I went to Canada, started a company in Canada, started a company in Hong Kong, started a company in Thailand, and a company in Dubai. And I asked myself, what is the second life? It's the complete opposite. So it's the part where I write or spend time with my children. It's the part where I connect with poetry, with art, and so on. Actually, I want to experience something, and to achieve that freedom, I had to create passive income. Of course, everyone talks about this passive income. Passive income means income that I earn every month without working. And what's the best way to get passive income? It's obviously real estate. Real estate is the best way to generate passive income. And so I was lucky because since I had made quite a bit of money, I already had properties, and I had properties in several countries. And I started to take a closer look at my properties. Because to be honest, I had been pretty hands off with managing them. I didn't really take care of it. And I started to dig in and see, well, what is the real profitability that the agencies I had entrusted with managing my properties were actually delivering. And then, well, honestly, I was shocked. I was floored when I saw that, in fact, things were being managed extremely poorly and that my returns were basically non-existent. So from that point on, I told myself, okay, if I really want to live my second life, I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands. And I focused, I studied the market, I looked at what was happening, I tried to find solutions. In other words, I really tried to contact as many agencies as possible, as many property management companies as possible, as many industry professionals as possible, because I had a clear idea about automation, artificial intelligence, price management, and so on. I knew how to achieve high profitability, but I couldn't find anything on the market that would allow me to actually extract that profitability. But above all, since I had properties in several countries, I also needed something that would allow me to manage these properties across different countries. Because as you know, property management companies are very local. So I did a market analysis and saw that the market was divided into two main segments. The first segment was real estate agencies. These real estate agencies, what they really love, what gives them the most satisfaction, is selling properties and earning upfront commission. In other words, they make a lot when they sell a property. And so that motivates them to take action, to make money quickly. But actually, when you ask them to handle property management, whether it's long-term or short-term rentals, it bothers them a bit. They do it reluctantly. And when they do it, it's usually because there might be more sales opportunities down the line. They often go for long-term rentals because it's not too much trouble for them. They put someone in and say, see you in a year. Some do a bit of short-term rental, but it's really minimal. And behind that, there are small, highly dynamic concierge service people who are eager to get things moving, who are starting to perform well. But the problem is they have a scalability issue, meaning they remain small teams. It's often just a few people doing a lot of things, and they often end up burning out. They're very local, operating in just a few cities at most. They're not international at all. And as soon as someone in the team cracks, real problems arise immediately because it's hard to make this kind of business scalable. So I focus and manage to develop a solution because let me remind you, the goal here is to stop working. And the real irony, the big irony, is that in trying to stop working and create passive income, that's actually when I ended up creating this concierge service. So I ended up creating even more business. But in my journey, and maybe we'll have a chance to talk about it later, but in my journey, that's how it's been. I discover gaps and I actually position myself in those gaps every time in the businesses I've developed. And so here there was a gap that I tried to fill. So I create the Magic Concierge, the most amazing concierge service I can imagine, but I only create it for myself. That is, I manage my own properties and only put my own properties in it. And then I make the profitability of my properties skyrocket, sometimes tripling, sometimes quadrupling, with crazy results. I have my friends and I talk with them. They say to me, wait, Matthias, what are you doing right now? So I explain to them a bit about what I'm doing. One of them says, well, listen, take my properties too, because maybe you just got a bit lucky during that time. Try managing mine and see what happens. I take on their properties as well, and I make the profitability skyrocket. After that, these friends, well, they talk to their friends, of course. And then I see that in the end, there are quite a few people who want to get involved and want us to make their properties skyrocket too. So what do? I get in touch with the entire management team of my outsourcing company. I mentioned it to you earlier with the 120 people. And so I talked to the entire management team, meaning the general manager, my deputy director, my right-hand person, and so on. And I tell them, look, there's a new project here. We're going to step out of your comfort zone. I feel like there's something incredible to do. The market is huge. The demand is huge. I know that, well, you know your job inside out. But now we're going to have to reinvent a new line of work and we're going to have to create this together. Are you in or not? And then my entire management team said, okay, we're in. So I brought my entire management team from my first company on board. They all appointed their replacements in that first company. By the way, I sold it to a Canadian and they joined me. They joined me in this adventure. And that's when we created 6 divisions. So the 6 divisions start with the first one, the sales division. So the first division, the sales division, was set up by my right-hand man for that part. And so we created something really attractive. That is, we offered a no commitment deal, 40% cheaper than the market price. We provided free performance analyses for each property and implemented an AI that allows you to ask any question and get answers on that topic. We have a really awesome website. I think you may have seen a few previews, but I also encourage you to check it out. It's called Jarvis Concierge. It's fantastic. All the explanations are on there. In short, we've created something very appealing for clients in terms of commercial aggressiveness in this area. And here, something cool that we've done is that we're the only ones to guarantee results by contract. That means when you sign with Jarvis, we commit to a guaranteed rental outcome for your property. And so we're the only ones doing this. No commitment, 40% cheaper, guaranteed results. So already that's pretty attractive. The second area, there's a mic. The mic is working, all good. The second crucial area is about the comprehensive process of onboarding and subsequent ongoing operations. This particular aspect is something that is indeed extremely important and holds significant weight. And for this specific part, I have utilized a relevant and appropriate background. Basically, we possess an advanced artificial intelligence system that meticulously gathers all the pertinent information concerning a property and then systematically structures it for this particular segment. There are 110 checkpoints. It's done automatically because this part used to be a major pain point. And actually, we organize the property so that it's ready to operate. So it can be rented out short term or direct. So that's extremely important here. After that, we connect what we call operational managers, country managers. These are people who connect others to handle cleaning, people to take care of the pool, people to look after the garden, etc. All of whom are linked to the property. In other words, we prepare all the operational aspects around each property we manage. So here, this is the part, it's the second division, it's the onboarding part. And I have a killer team leader who handles this division with her team. And today, with the number of properties we are able to bring in each week, we're able to onboard them very quickly thanks to automation and specifically thanks to AI. The third division, which is a very important one and where we're particularly strong, is the optimization division. So in the optimization division, we also have quite a few people working on it. It's very simple. We have a channel manager that allows us to list the properties on all the major platforms. So we put the properties everywhere. We have a website, we have a direct booking site. We developed it to also capture all direct bookings. And we have a little hack where we create Google business profiles that point to it, which brings a lot of traffic to each property. That's just a little tip I'm sharing. We have a bunch of little hacks, but I'll share this one here because it's quite powerful. We also, of course, just like in the airline industry, have dynamic pricing management. That means all our prices change every day for every property. This ensures that we always have properties that are well positioned in terms of price, so we can always achieve the highest possible occupancy rate. And that's extremely important because it results in almost 30% more occupancy and therefore 30% more revenue just from this dynamic pricing management. It's the scraping system that allows us to see the occupancy rate in our area, the prices, and we always position ourselves at the best rate for this optimization. And then we have plenty of other secret ingredients for optimization that I can't share with you today, but they allow us to achieve results that are twice as good as the market average. That's great because it's the platforms themselves that tell us, they give us the data. And we can clearly see the results of others and our own results as well. We're getting about twice as much in terms of results on this optimization part. We're killers. So what do we have beyond that? We have customer service. So for me, when it came to customer service, since I have an outsourcing company, I didn't want to cut corners on it. So I set up a customer service that's very simple, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and in every language. Very simple. And we respond in under a minute. That means we are addressing 2 points. Both the clients who are property owners and want to ask questions, we answer them instantly. And also the end customer who, when they want to rent, might try to ask questions about several properties. Well, we answer instantly and create instant trust. So we increase the conversion rate on that part. But we also deal with clients who are renting. I arrived last night. I got to Dubai very late. I tried to contact someone I had rented from because all the properties I have in Dubai are full. So I couldn't find one from my clients. So I had to take another one. Anyway, and regarding that part, the person stopped responding to me and I didn't know how to get in. We respond in less than 2 minutes and we handle all the issues on that front. Our customer service is smooth. Let me share a little hack we've implemented for this. We have an artificial intelligence system that's connected to the onboarding process, which actually allows us to collect all the onboarding information and generate a response that's pre-established by the AI and then provide it to a human customer service agent. So we have the human touch combined with the power of AI technology to deliver an instant response. And of course, we also offer translation in all languages. So we can respond in Korean, we can respond in Russian, we can respond in any language. After customer service, we have a department that's extremely important in this area, which is the upsell division. And that's something that sets us apart, meaning that with the properties, we don't just want our owner clients to earn part of the rental income. In fact, we want to create a profit center, meaning that for the properties we manage, we've set up an upsell system where we don't just offer upsell services like check-in, taxis, and so on, but we provide them with a great experience. We sell to them, we identify their needs, we see if they're coming for leisure, with family, or for other reasons, and we offer them a whole system where, for example, you can go for a desert excursion, go scuba diving in Koh Samui, rent a boat to go to a specific place, or if it's raining, maybe you want to learn how to cook Thai food, for instance. In short, we create an entire program for them to ensure they have an excellent experience, but this program also allows us to generate additional profit, and we give 50% of that extra margin back to the owner. That means the owner earns from the rental, which we significantly increase, but they also profit from the upsell services we implement. So we further boost their profitability on this aspect. The fifth point, which is not unimportant, is small data. So we have a lot of information coming in about the properties from everywhere all the time. And we have an AI that analyzes this small data, which actually allows us to anticipate any potential issues in advance, well ahead of time. For example, if some clients report an issue in an apartment we're renting out, the AI analyzes it and knows that potentially next month this could happen and that something needs to be changed. And it classifies this according to the level of importance it might have in relation to the satisfaction measures we put in place. So that's extremely important when it comes to small data and analyzing small data to anticipate issues, and we eliminate 90% of problems. The company is scalable, so it shouldn't have any problems. If you have problems, you become less scalable. Beyond that, what else do we have? And this is the last point, transparency. That means we provide all our clients with detailed monthly reports, also analyzed by AI, specifically regarding the market segment, market results, as well as on previous rentals we've handled the month before and the month before that. And so on a comprehensive analysis, often people just send you an invoice and say, here, you earned this much. But in the end, what's really behind it? What needs to be done? How did I earn this? Why did I earn this? What are they working on? And so on. And once again, AI is extremely important in our business model because it provides a complete analysis. You should know that our clients have direct access to all the rentals, to all the amounts. Through a mobile app, they can see everything at any time. I still have so much more to tell you, but I see that time is passing very, very quickly. So I'm obviously going to move on to my conclusion. As you've understood, I originally created a model for myself so I could buy my freedom through passive income from real estate and rentals. And in the end, I put it into practice. And now I'm able to help many property owners gain their own freedom. You know, I set out with Jan, who should be around here somewhere. We went on a tour to visit our clients. For a little over a week now, about 10 days, we've been traveling all over the place. We keep taking flights here and there nonstop. We also went to see our ambassadors who represent us in different countries. And we saw just how important this money is. We saw how important wealth creation through real estate is in the lives of the people we met. It's often their entire life savings. It's often what allows them to pay for their children's education and so on. And I realized this when we met them, and I saw the weight of the responsibility we have today regarding this. To give you an idea, Jarvis, in just a few months, what is it? We became the world's first digital concierge service. We are present in 15 countries. We manage hundreds and hundreds of properties. We've generated millions in upsell for our clients, which we've redistributed to them. We're experiencing explosive growth. Many ambassadors have joined us because we created a business model based on our ambassadors who represent us. Since my company is 100% digital, we have ambassadors representing us in every country where we operate. And by the way, they've also made some great videos about the 10 days we spent together, which are fantastic. Some of them are here. including ambassadors for Dubai who are present with us. And we are truly revolutionizing short-term rental. Just imagine there are millions of properties around the world that are not being utilized. There are millions of properties in every country that are not being used. And today, we are unlocking their potential and enabling owners to earn as much money as possible, allowing them to reinvent and rebuild their lives. At the same time, we are creating amazing experiences for our end customer. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for tonight.
So, regarding Jarvis, there are three things I found incredible. Number one, their business model is scalable, easy to implement, and above all, affordable for clients. Second thing, their use of AI, meaning they've managed to automate all their digital concierge services with artificial intelligence. I believe it's the first of its kind in the world. And third, the founder, who has absolutely incredible energy.
With rapidly expanding activities, there's no doubt that Jarvis will secure a dominant position in the short-term rental yield market.
I think that Jarvis is very innovative. I was very impressed with the presentation today because I've never seen a digital concierge like this one with such low prices, low fees, so many added values and everything. I was extremely impressed, and you know what, I'm even going to work with them for sure.
It's truly an extraordinary solution that is really emerging and works extremely well. So there you have it. A big congratulations to the entire Jarvis team, because this is truly a product that I recommend and endorse.